Today we will be embroidering on the Julia cardigan right above the pocket. I'm going to take my wash-away stabilizer and lay it down over the pocket with kind of room up above and below. You don't want to stretch out the cardigan as you do this, just lay it down nice and straight. Then I'm going to see where the edges of the pockets are and cut little slits in the stabilizer because I'm going to take that middle part and kind of shove it down in the pocket. This helps make sure that you're not going to embroider over the front of the pocket because then the pocket wouldn't open. I'm just going to clip off the extra here. So I've got that cut and I'm just going to kind of shove it down in and stick it down. This stabilizer is the OESD Aqua Mesh Plus. So it's wash away and it's got a sticky backside. It's great. Now I'm just to give myself a little guideline, I'm just going to take a pencil and draw a little semicircle kind of all the way around. You can gauge the size. You can really do whatever you want. You can draw any picture. I just like to do this to give myself a reference point, and then I can measure the height and make a similar one on the other side. Now I'm going to take my hoop and place it underneath the hoop without the adjustment screw on it, and I like to put it over the pocket because you don't want the pocket hooped as well as the cardigan because it's already bulky enough and you've got the button band there, so just get that pocket out of the way. I'm going to loosen my hoop pretty much as loose as it goes, put it over the top, and then very carefully push it down. I don't want to stretch anything, and the wash away stabilizer really helps with that. And I'm just going to kind of put my fingers underneath and make sure that the hoops are sitting flush with each other. And then I'm going to tighten up that screw just a little bit, just to hold everything in place. The next step is to get our embroidery thread. Okay, here we go with the embroidery. I've got my embroidery floss and I've just pulled out kind of 2 lengths of it. You don't want to work with a lot at a time because then it gets tangled. I've threaded through my embroidery needle. It's hard to tell. The ones with the gold tips are just the best. And I'm going to make a little knot at the bottom of it, just like that. You can cut that little bit extra off though, but and then for the first part of this, all I'm going to do is a little stem stitch. So I'm going to come up from behind and I'm just going to do at random these little diagonal stitches. There's no rhyme or reason to them, just to fill in the area. And we'll do quite a bit, and we're going to do this in 2 different green colors. So I'm going to come up. Let's see, I might have to adjust this. Don't mind my ironing board back there. We're improvising too. Okay, so I'm coming up from behind, and when I work the embroidery, I always keep my hand back here so I can feel where I'm at, to feel if there's knots anywhere, if I've caught the pocket. So you can kind of see my finger moving. I always keep it back there just so I know where I'm at. I'm going to start a little bit in the pocket. So I'm going to take this pocket, pull it down a little bit. And I'm just going to come up and pull it snug but not too tight because you can pull through, which we don't want to do. We just want these to be nice and loose sitting on the surface. And this stabilizer that I'm using is Aqua Mesh Plus. It's a wash away sticky back stabilizer. And it's great for embroidery like this. You can draw right on it, you stick it on your garment, and then you just wash it away when you're done. I've used it a lot for sewing and beading. It's great for this. And since we have to wash and block our cardigan anyway, you just do this before you wash and block it, and it comes right out, and it looks really good. You could always do a test if you're worried about colors bleeding, but I've made, 7 or 8 cardigans now, and I've yet to have any embroidery get ruined from it. So just trust the process. I think you can see it okay. I'm just coming up at random, and I'm having the little stem stitches either slant left or right. It really doesn't matter. You'll see when it's done, it just kind of looks like a cluster of flowers, and it's a really easy way to get embroidery on here. I've done flowers before and sunflowers, and sometimes I'm happy with them, sometimes I'm not. I found that these little stem stitches and French knots just give the nicest look because I'm not that skilled at embroidery yet. I need a lot more practice. So I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll meet you back here when this is done.
Okay, I've got my next color of green. It's just a little bit darker. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Just gonna come up at random angles. And you can draw on the design if you want, but I find it's best to just feel it as you go. Don't be too rigid with it. This should be kind of fun and creative, and you should, how do I want to say it? Just see what the embroidery wants to do. See where it wants to be. Just stabbed myself, and I don't want to get blood on this. As you can see on the back, there's just these little marks, and I've tried to think of different ways to cover them up, but on all the cardigans, I just leave them. I think it looks fine. Nobody's gonna know. It's for a small child, and it's not like it's gonna be up against their skin and be itchy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I did draw that little kind of circular outline just to give me a guide where I want the sides and the top of the embroidery to be, because you want them to be pretty symmetrical, which is kind of hard to do when you're winging it. So having that little guide for height and width is really helpful. We're just going to keep going until we fill it up or until we use up the thread, whichever one comes first. And I pulled out again just 2 lengths of it. You don't need a lot. Just going to keep going. Okay, now we're going to get to the French knots. And for these, what I have found that I like is I pick 4 colors that go with the fabric, and one of the colors matches as close as I can find. And then there's either 2 lighter or 2 darker, and 1 lighter or 1 darker. It depends on what you find and what you like and what shade of cardigan you're making. And I've listed, I'll put all these numbers on, that way you can see the colors that I used. So you can start with any one, it doesn't really matter. I am going to start with the lightest one, and I'm just going to do French knots all around here. Okay, we're going to get started with the French knots. I've got my strand of embroidery floss, and I'm going to come up from behind just like before, and I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'll say one thing with this: as you're going along, you kind of want to plan. You don't want to like jump all the way around, because then you're going to end up with really long stitches across the back. So you just kind of want to have a plan of where you're going. So like start at the bottom, kind of go up this side and down and then back up. Kind of like free motion quilting. You always want to be able to just continue where you're going without these big gaps. So pulling my needle up, pulling it taut, and I'm going to take the thread. And I have found that for these cardigans, for this size, that a 3-twist French knot with all 6 strands looks the best and stands out the best. And if you Google how to make a French knot in hand embroidery, you will find so many tutorials, and I mean, you can go look at those and see what you like best. I'm just going to show you. So I've got the thread that's coming out. I'm going to wrap it around my needle 3 times, and then I'm going to sink the needle right back, right next to the hole it came out of, and I'm going to pull this tight, because I want that little knot to be right at the base of my needle. You can see it there. I'm going to push it down through, and I also keep my index finger, where am I? Right here. Here's the needle. I keep my index finger right behind it. That way knot doesn't get pulled through. So as I'm pulling, I'm like counter pulling with that finger underneath. Oh, it's really blurry. Sorry. There's my little French knot. And I'm just going to keep going all the way around. Come up, 1, 2, 3 twists, sink it back down, slide the knot down, push it through, and I'm pushing from the back side. We're going to do that all the way around.
Once you're happy with your embroidery, you can peel off the extra stabilizer. Just get everything kind of pulled up and around, and you're just going to take your scissors and cut away from it. Be really careful not to cut your cardigan or your embroidery. And we do this, we don't need that extra stabilizer on there when we go to wash it away. It just kind of gums everything up. So just cut it off. You're not going to need it for now. Once it's cut off, you can admire your work. And you will repeat the same process on the other side of the pocket.